Now, most people tend to publish books later on in their lives, but this is not the case with a 14-year-old grade 9 learner at Beaulieu College. Bhaswelihle Zilwa, Lihle, she's of course affectionately known by her peers, has published a book titled Lihle's Collection of Motivational Quotes for Teens. And the book is meant to inspire and motivate young people. So she joins us live now in studio to talk about this exciting book. Lihle, good morning to you. Thanks for coming.
Good morning, Sister Me. Thank you so much for having me.
I am so excited for you and about this book because I mentioned that most people write books later on in life when they're confident enough that they're wise to share some wisdom. But you thought, you know what, I'm doing it right now and I'm speaking to my peers. What inspired you to write this amazing book?
So I had collected the over 300 quotes in the space of 2 years. You know, inspirational, motivational quotes, like, you know, as a hobby. And, you know, when I was now sitting with, you know, these collection of quotes, I was like, you know, maybe there are, you know, teens out there who may be looking for a source of inspiration. So, you know, why not make it easier for them to find it, to just put all these quotes in one book. And in order for me to now make these quotes into a book, I had to, you know, divide them into different attributes. And so in total, I have 10 different attributes in my book. And as I was sequencing them, you know, into chapters, I realized that I was also sequencing them into order of importance. And that is how my guide to navigating success was born. And in that guide system, first and foremost, there is integrity. Because, you know, integrity has to be, you know, the core character in anyone who wants to succeed. You know, it's like the foundation that you make when you want to build a house. You know, if it's not done right, then, you know, the house, or in other words, your success will eventually come crumbling down. And then after integrity, you then have ambition. You know, you have to have, you know, those big dreams and those big goals, because they will then act as a sense of direction and purpose in your life. And then you will need to have the courage, you know, to go after those big dreams that you have. You know, as Richard Branson says, if our dreams don't scare us, then, you know, they're too small. And, you know, Richard Branson is a British billionaire and entrepreneur who started the Virgin Groups in the 1970s, which today controls 400 companies in different sectors. And, you know, this is the person who was, you know, once named one of the most influential people in the world by the Times magazine. So, you know, if he says that, you know, our dreams need to scare us, then it means that, you know, we really need to have that courage to go after them anyway.
I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more. And as you're quoting you know, Richard Branson, I also spotted one of my favorite quotes in the book, and I was so happy that I'm represented, even though I'm not a teenager anymore. But my favorite quote that I found in the book was, "It seems impossible until it's done," by former President Nelson Mandela. And I wanted to know, were there challenges getting this book together? Did it seem impossible at some point, and stressful and nerve-wracking, until officially it's done and you have the final product?
So yes, there were some, you know, challenges. I'd say the most difficult part about, you know, putting this book together was, I think, you know, having to order, you know, the attributes, because, I mean, they're all important at the end of the day. But now you just have to, you know, like, try and order them into, you know, order of importance. And, you know, also, you know, trying to find, you know, which quotes fit and which ones you think, you know, don't really drive the point home, that maybe aren't the best for the book. I think that was the most challenging part.
I understand. And I'm so glad that you overcame that challenge, because you don't only talk about overcoming challenges, you know, having integrity, but you show it because you did it. So this is actually you saying, I am living proof of what I'm actually talking about in the book. And I just wonder, why was this important to you to gift to teenagers and to young people your age? Why was it important for you to document this right now for young people and speak to them?
So the reason why I did this is because I think, you know, as the generation of today, you know, me, myself included, we are really growing up, you know, in tough times and rough terrain. So I thought that maybe, you know, this book could be that push, you know, that motivation that, you know, my peers and myself need in order to reach our goals, you know, reach our dreams, you know, succeed, even irrespective of our circumstances or backgrounds.
Yeah, that is so important. And I think another, you know, element of your book that I've also noticed that I really appreciate is the amount of support that you have received. I mean, I'm seeing so many people recommending this book. I mean, you have the likes of Palesa Kyobeka from UNESCO South Africa, who also wrote that this book, and I just want to quote her saying, amazingly profound and beautiful book of quotes from Lihle, wisdom for both young and old, from someone so young. So that's amazing. Dr. Judy Dlamini, Chancellor at Wits University, also giving a word of encouragement, saying that she was drawn to your book because it shares a similar interest. Though we are almost 2 generations apart, she says. So many people supported you. And how important was it to receive support? And is there anyone in particular, or any people in particular, that, you know, you appreciate who've supported you to make this a success?
So, you know, first and foremost, I really appreciate my family, you know, in supporting, because, you know, like a 14-year-old coming with this idea of, I want to write a book, you know, I think it's quite, you know, very unusual. So the fact that they actually listened to me and, you know, supported me, gave me the confidence to continue with this dream that I had. And, you know, they also provided me with such a good publisher, Rose Sully Publishing House, because, you know, it was excited to promote the work of young African authors.
Right.
And I think that to any teen out there, you know, irrespective of if maybe your family doesn't really support you, I think I really recommend that publishing house, because they really guided and nurtured me as a young author.
Listen, future leader, fix us a share in your crown, because you deserve it. People need to see that you are, of course, Miss Publishing Books here at 14. And I just want to close off with this. Any words of encouragement, as well as, you know, obviously plugging in where we can get the book and how we can get a hold of it. Any words of encouragement to any young publisher out there who may feel they don't even know where to start, maybe they don't even have the funding or the necessary family support, they don't know which doors to knock at, but they're also thinking of doing something similar and sharing their story in their way? How would you advise them, and also how would you advise they get a hold of this book?
So I would really advise them, as I said, to really get in contact with Sully Publishing House, because I feel like they're not just publishers, but they're also there, you know, as family, you know, to really uplift and to nurture, you know, these young African authors who really want to get, you know, their story out there. And I would say that to the teen out there who really wants to write a book, I say do it. You know, go for it, no matter, you know, if you know that things holding you back, just go for it.
Right. And where can we get the book?
So you can get the book on my website.
Okay.
That is www.bhaswelihleZilwa.co.za, and it will be available on Amazon from next week.
I'm so excited, Lihle, and thank you so much for this book. I would advise the other teenagers to get the book first, get inspired by the quotes, and then get their books rolling and start writing their books, because they will be inspired by your book. But thank you so much, Lihle, for joining us. And there you have it. Definitely get a hold of the book, Lihle's collection of motivational quotes. This is for teenagers. So mom and dad, if you're out there as well watching this conversation, give this to your teenagers. Bhaswelihle Zilwa, inspiring, giving us a lot of quotes that you, of course, can get a hold of right here in this book.